Okay, what we're going to do today, I'm just showing you kind of my starting screen, how that's going to go before I get the stream started. I'm having to talk a little bit louder because the volume is a little bit lower with my voice when it comes to this screen. So basically, though, I'm not going to be talking during this screen. I'm just going to have it on and have the music playing, and we'll see how it goes from there. So let's go back to a live scene. This is the test run number 4. I'm trying to see just how well my talking capabilities are. We're going to talk about the Japanese battleship, the Fuso. It's a Tier 6 battleship out of 10. It is an absolutely beautiful battleship. Wonderful paint job on it. It's from an anime, some kind of show or something called Azure Lane or Azure Lane. I'm not sure which, but it makes the battleship look nice and badass, pretty and deadly is how it's going to be. Um, when we're talking about this battleship, I'll give you a little bit of history into the battleship. Uh, it is it entered service in 1915. The battle cruiser Congo was used as the basis for the design of a new battleship. To surpass the New York class dreadnoughts being built in the U.S., Japanese shipbuilders raised the number of 356mm guns to 12 and 6 turrets, preferring twin gun turrets to triple gun ones to boost survivability. During World War II, the ship covered the Pearl Harbor raid, as well as participated in the Aleutian Islands campaign and the Battle of the Surigao Strait. On October 25th, 1944, the battleship was hit by U.S. torpedoes from the U.S. destroyers and sank, breaking into several pieces. The survivability on this bad boy is 69. That's a pretty good survivability rating. Artillery is 83. That means it does some damage with the main guns. The airstrike is 65, which means it can do a lot of damage to submarines, things like that. The anti air defense is rated at 47. It's about halfway good. It's pretty decent, really, when it comes to being able to take out CV or aircraft carrier squadrons that are coming in to torpedo you or bomb you or do missile strikes on you, things like that. The maneuverability is set at 34. That is just because this is a battleship. I mean, it's a very slow moving vessel. It's not very maneuverable at all. As you can see, uh, the maneuverability on something like, say, a destroyer is 75. Okay, because they're fast, they're light, they're not very well armored. When it comes to the Fuso, the sucker's got. I mean, it's decent for a battleship for sure. The maneuverability, the concealment is 23, meaning that it doesn't take much to be able to spot this bad boy in the water, and that's because of the amount of water displacement there is. The concealment really has a lot to do with, and if you look over here on the right hand side of the screen, the assured detectability range is 2 kilometers. The detectability range by air is 9.7 kilometers, and the detectability range by sea is 18.3 kilometers. Now let's compare that with the main battery firing range. So the detectability at sea is 18.3 kilometers. Now I can still fire at 21.8 kilometers and possibly not be seen, aside from the fact that I just fired off a main salvo, and that's going to show me up on the mini map. So it's got 356 millimeter by 45 41st year type in a twin turret for the main battery, 6 by 2 of those. Again, they're 356 millimeters. The secondary battery, which is really good on Japanese battleships, is 127 millimeters slash 40 type 89 on a Model A1 mount. So there's 4x2 of those, and they're at 127 millimeters. Secondary battery, really, what that means is when it comes down um, to a ship that's getting close to you within your range, whether you're facing it or not, the closest ship to you is going to get this the secondary battery. I think there's a way to aim your secondary battery at a specific ship. I don't know how to do that yet. I've only been playing since March, so that's a new one on me. But I think there is a way. There's a second secondary battery with 152 millimeter slash 50 41st year type on a casemate mount. There are 14 by one of those. There's 14 of those. They're at 152 millimeters, and like I said, the main battery firing range is 21.8 kilometers. On the survivability, this bad boy's got 57,100 hit points. Compare that with a cruiser of that's just one class below. It's got 25,800 hit points. So you go back to the Fuso, 57,100 points of damage that it can take. That's a lot of damage. Okay, um, it's very survivable. The torpedo protection and damage reduction is 34%. That's pretty damn good. The armor layout, as you can see from over here, the lighter the color, the weaker the armor. So you've got your mid ship that's pretty lightly armored. You've got your rear of the ship that's a little heavier armored, and obviously you've got your main guns that are very very heavily armored, as well as the deck. The deck is pretty well heavily armored, so that's a pretty neat little thing there. The maneuverability, the maximum speed is 25.7 knots. Let's compare that with the Agano. The Agano, the maneuverability, the maximum speed is 36.8 knots. That's for a cruiser, which is in between a destroyer and a battleship. And for a destroyer, the maximum speed is 38.3 knots. Plus, they have speed boosts and things like that. So the battleship Fuso, Tier 6 battleship Fuso, is a formidable battleship if you use it in the right way. Um, so let's get into some of the specifics of it. Let's go to the equipment. What I've done here, I've got all the upgrades. As you can see, the upgrades here, the propulsion, the max firing range for the main battery, and the hit points are better, and so things like that. So we've got 8 signal flags that you can fly per ship. Okay, so depending on the ship is really dependent upon what signal flags you're going to fly. For a battleship, most of my things are going to come. Most of my flags are going to go about around the repair party, reducing the time for the repair. The HP per second that I gain when I have 4 of these. Okay, so when I take some damage, if I don't want to take that kind of damage, I can repair my ship to a certain degree. The consumable action time is 28 seconds, and during those 28 seconds, I repair 342 hit points per each second. That's pretty good, but the cooldown time is 73.7 seconds. So it's got a big cooldown time, so you've got to use it wisely. I would use it early, and then I would start. I would kind of get out of the battle a little bit, get back into the battle, and continue to use it as it regenerates. The repair party, the damage control party, what that does is that extinguishes fires, removes instances of flooding, and repairs damaged modules. So when you're getting shot at, your main guns can get damaged. If you have a different ship, your torpedo tubes can get damaged or knocked out. It can damage your propeller, your just about anything on your ship can be damaged, including your citadel. So the damage control party that takes care of that. The consumable action time is 10 seconds. The cooldown time is again 73.7 seconds. So it's good to kind of alternate the two in a way. If you can do that, if you have the capability of doing that inside of a battle, that's a good way of doing it. Another perk, another consumable that I have is spotting aircraft. Now, spotting aircraft, when you get into a battle, um, it increases your main battery firing range by 20%. So, as soon as ships get spotted and they're way out in the distance, they're further than, what is it? They're further than 21.8 kilometers. You get an extra 20% on that 21.8 kilometers for your main battery firing range, and then you can start laying down some fire and trying to weaken some of these guys and make them use some of their consumables as they're marching towards the battle. The consumable action time for the spawning aircraft, it circles your ship and it stays in the air for about 100 seconds. The cooldown time is 228 seconds, so it's good to use near the beginning of the battle and then just sparingly as you can. I've got four of them, but it's good to do that. So I can fire two different types of shells. There's high explosive shells that I can fire. Those are what I would fire at, say, a destroyer, such as the Hatsuharu or the Mutsuki. Fast, light, uh, not well armored ships. Those work the best against them. It does 5,700 damage, is the max, and the chances of causing a fire on a target is 26%. Now, a fire is very important because if you can start a fire on a ship, you're going to do some pretty good damage over time. So while you're shooting at the ship, while you're reloading your main guns, while you're reloading, it's taking forever to reload. Your fires are doing damage on the ship as you reload. So it's a pretty good deal. Now the armor piercing shells, they are very effective against heavily armored targets, other battleships, certain cruisers. They penetrate armor and they explode inside the ship, causing considerable damage. The damage comparison is this: the maximum damage on the high explosive shells is 5,700. The maximum damage on the armor piercing shells is 10,200. So there's a big difference in damage. Most of the time, I will run armor piercing shells no matter what. But again, if I'm facing a destroyer right off the bat or a light cruiser, I will hit it with the high explosive shells to start some fires. I'll even do that against some battleships just to have them use up some of their repair equipment, some of their consumables, like their repair damage control party and their repair party. Um, the HE shells, they do have the potential to deal significant damage and high chance of causing fire and incapacitating modules. So you want to incapacitate as many modules as you can. Like destroyers, you want to take out their propeller system so they can't go anywhere. They can just keep moving forward, or they slow down and stop if they don't have the proper gear on their ship. Most of them do when you're fighting other humans. When you're fighting computer opponents, it's a little bit different. The other thing I have is a depth charge airstrike. Okay, this carries out an aerial bombardment of the marked area with depth charges. It's basically a square that I can put out 8 kilometers in front of my ship in any direction. Okay. Uh, they hit enemy submarines. They also have chances of causing fire, flooding, and incapacitating modules, and they have increased chances of incapacitating sonar, which is huge, and they're effective against enemy mines. So that's a pretty good deal. The max damage that the bomb can do is 2,900. So when you're fighting a light sub, like a light armored sub, which they're pretty much all lightly armored, 2,900 damage is pretty significant when you can launch two or three or four or five of those things at them, and you've got other ships launching them at them too. So it takes them out pretty quick. So that's basically the rundown of the Japanese Tier 6 battleship, the Fuso. Um, Hopefully next time you can hit me up and we'll have a different ship ready for you. But I'm going to link you to my social media sites. Both of them. One is obviously Twitch, and the other one is obviously YouTube. Those are the two main sites that I use. I don't know exactly. I'm very new to this, so I don't know exactly how to make it to where you can click on them. But they at least give you the names of how to find me, and you can find me through those channels. Um, let's see. As far as the credits go, normally on the screen that you're seeing right now, the credits will run in the middle, and they'll kind of look like the Star Wars credits. They'll just kind of move up and up and up, and they'll repeat themselves. So as I get some live streaming done, and I get some people in my live streams, those credits are going to be rolling, and things are going to move along nicely. I appreciate you being on me with this journey. Thank you for listening to the entirety of this video. If you would, please give me a like, comment. I'm open to suggestions as to how to make my streams and videos better. Um, Please don't bully, don't disparage in any way, shape, or form. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm dedicated to doing this. I've never done anything like this in my life. This is definitely going to be something that I feel like taking on into the future to make some money with. So I appreciate you all. Have a great, wonderful night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, evening. Whatever you want to do. Have a lovely one. To my wife Tiffany, I love you, and to my family, I love you, and I love you all. And I will see y'all next time.